Wow. This is getting me.
Oh.
This damn. Why? Why are you like this?
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the show that's not here to make you cry. Whether you're a casual cook or a celebrity master chef, one common kitchen conundrum that we all know about is how cutting onions makes you cry. You have everything else ready, you grab your onion, you make a slice, and suddenly you're tearing up faster than your latest watch through of Inside Out. I'll never forget you, Bing Bong. And clearly people are sick of it, with everyone across the interwebs coming up with their own at-home hacks to circumvent the sting.
This is how to cut onions without crying.
Have you ever wondered how to cut an onion without crying? It's easy, just stick your tongue out.
Save your tears for another day.
Watching some of these, like, they just look ridiculous. There's no chance that any of this stuff actually works, right? And even if it does stop you from crying, is it really worth it? Because let me tell you, I don't mind being the guy that's wearing a pot lid while preparing my food, but I'd at least like to know that I'm doing it for a reason. Which brings us to today. Today we're putting onion cutting cry hacks to the test. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm not doing it alone either. I'm bringing in our food theory creative director, Santi, to go through this tearful experience with me. Just two men in the kitchen cutting onions together and weeping. Seems like a good bonding experience. Who's cutting onions in here? Oh wait, it's us. So do any of these have a chance of working, or are the online solutions gonna stink just as bad as our favorite root vegetable? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Now, before we dive into the experiment, our recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of science. Why do we cry when cutting onions? Probably a good thing to know before we start testing ways to stop that process from happening. Well, crying can result from 2 different forms of stimuli, emotional and chemical. And unless you're building up an emotional attachment to your onions before you slice them, I think we can rule that first one out, safely putting onion cutting into the chemical category. The reaction happens in the trigeminal nerve, which you might remember from our brain freeze episode. Basically, this is a massive 3-branch nerve in your head that works with your eyes, your nose, and your jaw all at the same time. The sensory endings of the trigeminal nerve can detect chemicals entering the eye, at which point the body will try to prevent injury by instantly generating tears as a natural eye wash, getting the chemicals out of our eyes and clean from irritations. So that's our body's response, but what exactly is in the onion that's causing all this irritation? To answer that, we have to go to the roots of our root vegetable here. You see, onions are grown underground, where they lay victim to any number of animals who want themselves an afternoon snack. So, to prevent getting munched on, onions have evolved to have a natural defense system. The cell walls of an onion are filled with pockets of an enzyme called alliinase. When that cell wall breaks down, like say when an animal takes a bite or a human makes a cut, these pockets rupture, causing all that alliinase to react with the onion's amino acids to create sulfenic acid. And the chain reactions don't stop there. The sulfenic acid then reacts with another enzyme to create a volatile chemical known as propanethyl S-oxide, a gas that irritates the eyes and activates the tear ducts. Basically, the onion is equipped with natural tear gas, and you set off that bomb by cutting into it. Knowing this, a proper solution to preventing us from crying needs to either protect our eye glands from getting hit with that tear gas, absorb the gas before it hits our eyes, distract the trigeminal nerve away from protecting our eyes, or somehow preventing the gas from getting made in the first place when the cell walls get ruptured. This then segues nicely into our hacks. Today we're gonna try 7 of the most popular hacks that we found online, ranging from the scientific goggles to the insane. So let's just cut to the chase and cut some onions. All right, Mr. Food Theory expert, tell me what you got.
All right, so right now what we're gonna do is cut our onions on top of a damp paper towel because it's supposed to kind of catch and absorb some of the sulfuric acid that's gonna be coming out. Sulfuric acid, some of the sulfur that's gonna be coming out.
I feel like if it's sulfuric acid, that is a very different food that we'd be consuming.
Just a bit, but it will catch some of that and stop it from going into our eyes to cause that reaction.
Do all onions make you cry?
No, there are some variations of sweet onion that don't make you cry. They're much sweeter and don't have as much of that sulfur in them. So, we're gonna cut the root, not something that you should do if you don't wanna cry, but for our purposes, well, you know, makes it more fun. So now we're gonna take out all of this.
So I gotta admit, I was never much of a crier until I got eye surgery. And now I have a little air hole in my eye to help the contact breathe that's permanently implanted in my eye.
Oh God.
Yeah, and now I feel it much more acutely than I used to.
If I ever take off my glasses,
yeah,
it's so much worse.
Oh wow, you're really there.
Yeah, no, immediately. No, I'm fine. This is fine. Everything's fine.
I'm not getting it. Here, let me put my eyes down here. Cry, damn it.
You are just dead inside.
Thanks for noticing. It stings. Okay, there we go. Oh, there. Oh, yeah. Oh,
once you break the seal, that's it. It's over.
So now, get down here.
I mean, the more you slice and the more of those cell walls you break, the more you should cry.
I feel some like onion juice splashing on my face. I feel like I'm not a good person to judge this. It didn't seem to help you.
No, it did not help me. What is wrong with you, Matthew, Danica, Patrick? Jesus.
I think we can all agree based on Santi's reaction, this one was not a success. The method behind why this should work is that instead of the irritating gas getting into contact with the moisture of our eyes, it gets in contact with the moisture of the towel. The chemical then dissolves into the towel and our eyes are kept safe. Except there's one key problem with that concept. Gases tend to float up. It's not like the moisture from the towel is pulling the gas down towards it. This isn't some sort of gas magnet or vacuum. It simply goes up into the air, which is exactly where our eyes are. We'd do better cutting the onion above our heads while we duck under the counter, but that one seems a bit unsafe there. What you really need is something to catch the fumes as they're coming up to your face, which leads us to round number 2. Round number 2, bread. Yeah, that was legit. I felt really baller to it. That was really cool.
The idea with the bread is that you put it in your mouth and it kind of absorbs the gases that come up from the onion into your eye. Kind of as a field.
I thought you meant like shove my mouth full of bread and...
No.
I was very confused. The way you explained about shoving bread in my mouth, I immediately thought,
Oh no.
oh, this is field.
This shouldn't have worked, but
No?
no, like nothing in my scientific brain said, yeah, this'll help as like a windshield, but
Well, it's kind of like a face shield.
I mean, yeah.
I'm actually really impressed.
Yeah.
You are decidedly a less soggy mess than you were in round 1. I'm telling you, at some point during this episode, I will cry.
All right, I'm determined to make you cry this episode. Next round.
I'm sorry, I still got bread in my mouth. Oh, that's better. Now, I genuinely thought that there was no way that this one was gonna work, but it absolutely did. The rationale behind it is that the saliva produced by the bread would draw in the vapors from the onion, redirecting it all into your mouth. But that just seems wrong to me. I think the real reason it worked was because we had a big old floppy bread slice shielding our eyes. Regardless, against all the odds, this one surprisingly worked. It also worked to make us a lot less hungry. By the time we were done cutting, we had definitely devoured at least a half a loaf between us. Nothing like putting bread in your mouth to spoil your appetite. Overall, not the most practical of options, but it was effective. Round 3 meant that it was time to up the ante. Swim goggles. If blocking the gases worked with bread, then certainly swim goggles should be able to do the trick as well. And honestly, we needed this one to work. Look at Santi over there. Man, looks like he took a one-way trip on the struggle bus.
So, I mean, this was pretty self-explanatory. You put the goggles on, the gases can't go into your eyes, and you don't cry. And since I've been the crybaby, I get to use the only pair of goggles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're just gonna like drown yourself in your own goggles.
There we go.
Okay, here he goes. He's equipping.
I mean, I can't see anything, so I'll, you know, it's fine.
Oh, great.
It like pulls my eyes. Do I look ridiculous?
It does look like your eyes. You're like in a Clockwork Orange where they expand your eyes.
See, this is making my nose run.
Wait, I was actually gonna ask this because we had this experience when we were doing the hot food episode, the spicy wing challenge, is should we be doing something to block our noses? Like,
Well-
is this one of those times where actually wearing nose plugs might be the secret weapon again?
I mean, it does irritate your nose, but the reaction's happening in your eyes.
Yeah.
And it's happening. Let me tell you what. No, it's weird.
It didn't help at all.
No, it's like as soon as I smelled it, the reaction started happening.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's really, really what it seems to be is that the sulfur fumes are getting up in your nostril area and that's triggering this reaction, right?
I mean, unless this
Look
isn't.
at this. Like, he's a hot mess. Look at
See?
this guy. He's a hot mess.
Yeah, there we go.
Right? Oh yeah, you're looking rough.
Yeah,
buddy.
no, my eyes are all immediately starting to water. Also, I think these like don't form a perfect seal. So either it's almost worse because some does get in.
And it's trapped
and
in
it's
there
just
now.
trapped in there.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
in the worst possible way.
That's definitely that's really bad. It stings so much more.
This is by far your worst round.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh man.
Man, I'm lucky that I don't have to experience this. Maybe the solution to all of this is just thinking happy thoughts the entire time.
Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
Here you
Happy
go.
thoughts. Okay.
Happy thoughts. Puppies.
I love puppies.
Beautiful sunsets.
Yes.
Walks on a beach.
Ryan Reynolds.
Keep thinking about Ryan Reynolds while I do this. Think about him. Think about how strong and masculine he is, similar to me. Think about how little he'd probably cry around an onion.
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not working. No.
No, but I will say the goggles made it so much worse. You know what? Here, give it to me. Ready? All right, we're doing this.
You got it. Oh, breathe deep.
Okay. No, okay. See, that's weird. I think I formed a better seal around my eyes.
I mean, well, that's probably because the goggles are upside down.
Oh, there we go. Upside down goggles.
But
that's
also,
all you needed to do.
I saw the pain and suffering in your eyes that entire time. So even though you might have felt like you were doing better,
Man, I'm even sweating. What is wrong with me today?
weird. The goggles didn't help Santi at all. I mean, I was unaffected entirely because of my pure macho masculinity, but covering his eyes with an airtight seal should have helped something. My suspicion here is that two things happened. First, that Santi didn't get himself that airtight seal, creating a form of greenhouse effect where the gas got trapped inside the goggles and then just sat there, making things a whole lot worse. And then secondly, I don't think Santi's nose was helping things. Although the reaction does occur in your eyes, the gas can also affect your sinuses, which in turn make you cry. Remember, the trigeminal nerve affects both your eyes and your nose, so what affects one definitely affects the other, which we may have seen happen in this particular case. Man, poor Santi. Dude can't catch a break, huh? Wonder what'll happen in round 4. I have a good feeling about round number 4. The fan.
It should blow it all away and away from my face and just stop the sulfur from going up into your eyes. So,
Although again, to be fair, this seems oddly elaborate for cutting a single ingredient.
okay, well, not all of us are immune.
Turn on your fan. Run your
There we
test.
go. Okay, yeah, you're right. You just had me so mad. This one, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I hear you starting to tear up a little bit.
Little bit.
I hear you getting a little snotty.
It's helping. It's helping.
Here, can it blow it all in my eye? Here.
Oh, come on! I accept the challenge.
Smell that onion perfume.
I smell it. I definitely smell it. It's just drying out my eyes. Okay, Ratatouille. Here, let me get down on my hands and knees.
There we go.
Oh, Randy.
Yes.
Oh, Chef Skinner. Yes.
Like motorboating my onion.
One of these has to work for me. Come on.
Well, without any further ado, next round. You know what? I actually feel good about this round. Santi, can we put it on the roster of food theories to test out what is the best gum?
Oh my God.
Ollie requested
Absolutely.
this one about a year ago. And I feel like, you know, my 4, now 5-year-old requesting an episode of Food Theory, he deserves it.
Yeah, fun. I'm just gonna put another one in for safety. I think it was like 5. Yeah, it's helping. I think I'm on 6. 6 is the magic number.
Yeah, great. So you two can go through an entire pack of gum to cut a quarter of an onion. Remedy win.
You know, because here's the thing, if I keep it in the front of my mouth too, the mint goes into my nose, my eyes are not as teary.
It's true.
There we go. Just cook like this.
This is great. This is me showing off our great product of Theoryware right now. Part of our Evergreen collection.
Trapped all onion fumes.
There hasn't been a whole lot that's been successful for you.
Okay, I at least gum stopped the tears for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of faith in this one.
Okay,
I
what's this
really
one?
do. So, if you'll follow me
Oh, are we going on a field trip?
to the other side of your kitchen.
Wow. And by other side, you mean literally kitty corner to where we were.
Yes. What? Oh, that was gonna be so smooth. I was gonna press a button and it was gonna open.
Let's see it again. Here, watch. We can cut here. Let's go to the other side of the kitchen, shall we, Santi?
Let's go.
In a completely non-rehearsed way. Wow, I love this organic, authentic content here on YouTube.com.
And without even looking, yeah.
Wow, that was so smooth and completely unrehearsed.
So the idea here is we're gonna microwave the onion for 30 to 45 seconds.
Okay.
Weakening some of the tear-inducing chemicals that come out.
Okay.
But if it doesn't make me cry,
Yep.
I'm calling that a win.
And with that, have to listen to the whole jingle. Oh, I was not as smooth as Santi! Is it a little squish?
No, it's not. It's just warm.
I'll leave you the joy of cutting this one just because. Well, make sure you
wow,
get.
it's really hot.
Ooh, it is hot.
Jeez.
Wow, 30 seconds.
Oh no, this is so much worse. Oh, this is the worst one.
Yeah, I smell this one more. I think the reason why is because you heat it up, and so what happens is you've activated the molecules, right? You've activated all the little subatomic particles, not subatomic particles, but you've activated all the molecules and atoms.
Yeah. God, why can't I get one? Why? I need to look further into this because I think you just have to cook the onion.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally. But there is one more thought that you have, right? There's one more that you have to test?
There is one more.
Can you handle it?
I hope this one works.
The microwave idea? Downright terrible. Not only did it leave Santi worse than he'd been all day, it also left us with a bunch of hot onion, which is a smell that I'm never gonna get out of my house. You probably remember this from high school science class, but basically molecules move much faster when they're hot. They have themselves more energy. And also reactions tend to happen faster when there's heat around. So heating up the onion only caused the enzymatic reactions inside to go faster. Effectively, we just succeeded in speeding up the whole process. Whoops. Sorry about that one, Santi. I'm just lucky I'm not going through the same tearful experience. Super dry eyeballs over here. But seeing how temperature affected the enzymes, maybe the reverse will actually work better. If heating the onion sped up the chemical process, what if we slowed everything down by freezing the onion? While Santi is on the ground suffering tremendously, I'm moving on to the final round. Frozen onion. Like I mentioned in front of the microwave, onions' cell walls are full of a bunch of water, right? So by freezing the onion, one, you're causing that water to expand, thereby denaturing or breaking down the cell walls, and two, releasing or at least starting to make that process happen so it becomes less impactful to your overall eyeballs.
We should be able to cut the onions for longer without experiencing the tear effect.
But again, I wonder, just like with the microwave, you're already doing something. Like, I don't know if I want a frozen onion in my dish, right? Like, I like fresh onions.
Right, and if anything, it should make it crunchier if you want it fresh, or if you're gonna cook it, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Is that true? Is this not going to fundamentally change the nutritional value of the onion or the flavor of the onion?
It shouldn't. Once it softens and comes back down to room temperature, then it might be a little softer than it will be and lose a little bit of its flavor.
Yeah.
But if anything, that's even better if you're having it raw because it'll be a little more mellow and better to put in your salads or burgers.
Well, there you go. A little high, but that's fine.
Ooh, this is careful. This is now...
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is miserable.
Yeah, this is much harder to cut
Just
into.
a block of ice.
Jeez. First of all, absolutely nothing. So this is great. My breath is gonna stink.
As if it didn't already. Hey-o! I'm sorry. I just tried.
I'm hunched over like a Parisian chef. Nothing's going wrong.
I can let you borrow my quality theory wear merchandise so you can experience it.
You know what? Let's do it, Matt.
No way!
Yes. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me cut up a little bit. This is insane.
There you go.
If you don't want to do all like the freezing it and you want to have the full flavor of the onion, the bread surprisingly was the best option.
Yeah.
And without having to stick like half a pack of gum in my mouth. But as far as like, you know, Johnson & Johnson no more tears level, you have to freeze your onion. You're just gonna lose some of the flavor. But if you're just planning on cooking with it, chuck the onions in the freezer 20-30 minutes before you go. And I mean, look at this. This is nothing. I feel like Scarface in the kitchen, but sorry.
Say hello to my little friend. And say goodbye to this episode. Santi! Thanks for joining. I guess thanks for joining me. I feel like I joined you on this little excursion.
Yeah, thank you for joining me on your show.
Yeah. This was a fun. I liked being the straight man for a change.
I didn't. When we do part 2 of this with your recommendations, I'm gonna find a way to make you cry.
Usually I'm the guy who's like, wow, 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 wow. It's great. This was nice. Science worked. Go figure. Cooling everything down meant that the chemical reaction happened slower. It didn't stop the process altogether, but it slowed it down enough to give Santi more time to chop. Sure, the texture of the onion wasn't the greatest, and it did lessen the flavor of the onion overall, but hey, if you're gonna be cooking the thing anyway, this was far and away the best method that we tested today to stop the tears. And yet, even though we were done with our tests for the day, one thing still bothered me. Why was I immune? I mean, obviously it's because I'm either 1, awesome, or 2, dead inside inside, but I wanted to know why there was such a massive difference between our reactions. Presumably, this should be affecting both of our eyes roughly equally, but no. And I was getting real up close and personal with those onions to try and get something, anything to happen to me. So what was my problem? Well, take a look at Santi. He wears glasses. Me, meanwhile, I wore contacts for nearly 20 years. And just a few years ago, I had an eye surgery done called ICL, or intraocular contact lenses, which is kind of like LASIK, but it's actually better. Instead of cutting away a part of your eye to try and correct your vision, here they implant a removable contact lens inside your eye. It is great. It works so well. My eyes were starting to have real problems with contacts towards the end of my using them, but with this surgery, I see great, I feel great, my eyes have no more issues. I feel like I really don't have to worry about my eye health anymore. It has been life-changing. But as you might imagine, 20 years of poking my eye with my finger and then going and getting eye surgery on top of that, it's made the nerves in my eyes less sensitive. In fact, a quick bit of research tells us that people that have had eye surgery are likely to experience a loss of corneal activity. When nerve endings feel something, they send signals to our brain, which then prompts the body to react. But if the nerve endings aren't as sensitive, well, then there's a lesser or even no reaction. What that means is that during our experiment, when the propanethyl S oxide comes into my cornea, my nerves aren't as reactive. They aren't as affected as someone with higher corneal sensitivity, so my brain isn't telling my body to generate tears and remove the chemicals. Whereas Santi not only has full sensitivity, it also seems like he has a higher than normal sensitivity. According to him, he tears up from just watching someone putting in a contact lens, which means an actual irritant in his eye like onion gas, yeah, that's gonna be doing a number on him. There you have it, my friends. In the end, onion crying is on a case-by-case basis. That said, we did find ourselves two surefire solutions. One, freeze the onion for a bit. Two, apply for expensive eye surgery. I'll let you be the judge which one's right for you. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.